Woody had gone right to the police, this would never have happened.
Uh-oh.
So, there are liberties being taken, like, there's going to be an increased amount of shit talk.
Oh, I have to remind myself I'm here willingly.
Catch one with a little bit of attitude, big guy?
Man, you champion son.
Well, it's a kangaroo court.
What do you mean? How is the NFL a kangaroo court?
Could you please let me explain why?
No, I don't want to hear this garbage. Give me an answer to the questions I asked you.
What the fuck are we doing?
Come on with it, baby!
Thanks, boy.
Italian. I'll talk to you later.
Let's get to the thing.
All right. My undercarriage is sweating.
If Woody had gone right to the police, this would never have happened.
Uh-oh.
So, there are liberties being taken, like, there's going to be an increased amount of shit talk.
Oh, I have to remind myself I'm here willingly.
Catch one with a little bit of attitude, big guy?
Man, you champion son.
Well, it's a kangaroo court.
What do you mean? How is the NFL a kangaroo court?
Could you please let me explain why?
No, I don't want to hear this garbage. Give me an answer to the questions I asked you.
What the fuck are we doing?
Come on with it, baby!
Thanks, boy.
Italian. I'll talk to you later.
Let's get to the thing.
All right. My undercarriage is sweating. Hey, Matt.
Welcome into another edition of the Third Manageable Podcast. I am your host, Matt Diegert. My co-host is across the way from me here.
Sup, guys?
Right?
We don't got to do shit.
Yeah, no, I mean, we have one
What do you
want
wanna
to
do?
We have two of the best guests coming on right now, and it's recorded. We're going to sit here in the background while it plays. So if you guys have any questions along the
You
way.
need anything drilled? Tell him I'm the drill guy.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So enjoy this interview with Don Beebe and
Will be a follow-up.
another special guest on there as well that does pop on as well for Don Beebe.
See if you can pick it up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Enjoy. Long time coming. This is the illustrious number 82, Don Beebe. Let's go.
All right, and we have a very special guest today.
Illustrious guest.
Nothing but illustrious guest here on Third and Manageable. We are recording today with Don Beebe, and we are very glad to have him on. We just want to say thank you to him. Welcome to the show, Don.
It's good to be here, Matt and Jeff. I appreciate you having me on.
No, absolutely. It's we try to provide some type of utility to the fans, but I think we'd be remiss to say that you didn't produce just. We try to put, like I said, was that on mute?
Yeah.
Sorry. We try to cultivate some utility to fans, and but I would be remiss to say that you didn't cultivate a lot of core memories for people in this community, in small market teams. Don, and I know right now you're kind of still in the small market arena. How do you deal with being kind of the legend? I don't know if you're comfortable in that point in life calling yourself, and still coaching, still imparting, and still kind of like going and approaching the game, whether it's big, small, Super Bowl, or just a divisional thing, or the college you're coaching. And do you think they listen a little harder, knowing that you have the chutzpah and you have the pedigree?
Well, I don't know if they.
I'm giving you a lot.
And I certainly don't know if I'm a legend. What's unique is Buffalo. Buffalo is unique, unlike any other market. And I played in another market like Green Bay.
Yeah,
who will be somewhat similar, but Buffalo is still very unique in the sense of, I always say this on a lot of podcasts or interviews that I'm on. When, as an athlete, in other arenas, in cities, the people almost look at these athletes like, what can you do for me? In Buffalo, it's just the opposite. It's like, what can I do for you? And I just remember just anywhere I would go in Buffalo during those years, and even still today, they're like, a meal it's on us. Golf, it's on us. It's anything. It's just amazing, and that's what family is. To me, honestly, we do things for each other all the time. That's why you see a lot of players stay there and live there, and we certainly would have too. I just had
but you had to go and win a Super Bowl.
Yeah, well, no,
Frank talked about it. Frank talked about it in a great way.
Yeah.
He's like, Pete got one as a coach. Frank saw you get one, and we asked him straight up. It was kind of a one of those teetering questions. Is the comfortability still there? Because I think a lot of this fan base, still lives with Matt. The other shoe to drop. He's like, we just rooted harder for Don. We rooted harder for Pete because like they carry the torch and the mantra and the mindset of all going through a very formidable time and representing a very needing community. And he felt like that was his too. Obviously to a varying degree, but he felt like he got one too. And he loved sending you that text, and it's fantastic. And did you feel, I'll ask the same question. Did you feel, I asked him, did he have any, survivor's guilt when he got one as a coach? Did you feel like you had any survivor's guilt for maybe a Jim or a Steve or a Bruce?
Yeah, again, a question that I've been asked quite often. What was it like to win a Super Bowl after losing 4? Well, first of all, let me throw a caveat in. The first 2 texts I got was Frank and Pete when I got back to the bus. Yeah. So ironic that those 2 come up. And then, Bud was one of those, and there's so many, over 100 easy texts that day and phone calls. But going back, I remember standing on the field. I was 10 yards behind Favre because I was the safety guy, just in case, when he was taking a knee. And I just remember looking up at the clock and seeing the last 10 seconds going off, and I'm thinking to myself, oh my gosh, I'm going to win this crazy game, right? And automatically, when the sound went off that we won, I walked up to Favre. I turned and I said, hey, Brett, can I have that ball? And he looked at me and he says, Beeps, nobody deserves it more than you.
Get out of here.
And he gave me the game ball. And you can see it on the film. But when I got that ball, I remember walking over to my wife and where my family was in the corner of the end zone. And my thoughts as I was walking over there when people were just going around me 100 miles an hour was, man, what was all my teammates? All I could think about was Buffalo people. I was thinking about the players, and it was almost like a sense of, you would think that when you win it, it's like euphoric, right? It was almost guilty. It was almost like, why me? Why not Marv? And why not, Bud? I mean, he's been there forever, and Abe and Jim and Frank,
Woody,
and all these guys. Yeah. So, I just thought, why me? And I basically savored the moment for everybody, I guess, in Buffalo, in the fans and in the organization and just everybody. Ralph Wilson certainly deserved it. Bill Polian, John Butler. You just go down the names.
Well, you also certainly had a very formidable moment with Ralph after what would you say you're known for? And I think you know what we're talking about. I would say maybe the question answers itself.
No, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, exactly. It's you stepping out of bounds, dude. We saw it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's okay. I didn't know it.
Yeah. But Matt, go ahead, man.
Yeah, no, I mean, and we were talking about, being legend and being in the community and things like that. We were talking in the room before, we started recording here with you. Tell us a little bit about the couple of books that you wrote.
Yeah. Well, one of them is around that play, Never Give Up. So the first one I wrote,
a big one,
it was about 6 months ago. And what I wanted to do was I had a company out of Nashville wanted me to do a wide receiver book. I'll be honest with you, I had no desire to do a wide receiver book. So I was halfway through a script, writing it all myself. And I started thinking, I would rather do a devotional book on things that I had to go through and the Lord allowed me to go through, that so many people are out there hurting and distracted or just down and out, depressed, whatever it is. And I thought I would share with them in a 12-story devotional, things that happened to me throughout my career. And it's centered really around athletics. So it's great for an athlete, but it's also great for people in general that have just never given up. So I entitled it Never Given Up. The Leon Lett play is on the cover of the book. and I talk about 12 different stories. And Leon Lett is the first one to talk about what happened, what was the inside story, and I share why I was able to do that play. I take no credit for it. I'll be honest with you. My parents raised me that way. My coaches had,
that is, and that's what Frank said.
Yeah.
Frank told us, and I feel like I'm playing walkie talkies between the two guys who talk all the time.
Yeah.
But Frank's like, if Don Beebe wasn't like that to his core, if he didn't embody that, if he didn't carry that, and if he didn't practice every day and lace his shoes up that same way, there's no way you catch up to that guy. And I feel like there's a microcosm there. There's no way you get ahead of life without carrying that just intuitive nature to give it all you got. And that's why I love the title of that book. Yeah. Now that you're in your coaching phase, without embodying much, what would you title this one? What's the next? What do you take of that intuitiveness of everything? Because at some point, we always say, 82 came off. Right, Apollo's now on. Yeah. What would you title this book for your next stage?
There's a lot to unpack there, but let me just tackle one thing about the play that Frank brings up, because it is a very valid point and a good point for people to learn from. Is what you are inside internally and how you react to something in a split second is really who you are. Because most people, especially really high character people and good people in general, are going to make the right decision if they have time to think about it. 5 minutes, 10 minutes a day, they're going to usually make the right decision. But when you have to think about something in a split second and then react to it, that's your true character. And Marv used to talk about that all the time. Coach Levy said that all the time. Every game, you're going to have to react to something. And in that moment is going to reveal your character. But to go on to your second part of that question, Jeff, is the other book that I wrote was In His Image. And it talks about being a father. And I have a father of 4 kids, and now coaching young adults in high school for so many years, and now college. I coach these guys all the time, and I've coached girls sports too. I have 3 daughters, so I got into coaching girls a lot as well in my earlier days.
They always want the sideline pick.
That's true. And so through all those experiences, I wrote In His Image, and that just came out last week. And it talks about different things that I went through as a father. How did I navigate through that? And obviously it's about my faith, and a lot of things are circled around that. And I quote scripture quite often. And it's just something that it's just been a great resource, hopefully, for people as fathers, as athletes, as dads, as moms, to just reflect on certain things and say, wow, yeah, that's an interesting. I never thought about it that way, or something of that nature, because we're always learning. I'm always learning from people way smarter than me. And that will never stop.
Yeah, so to kind of go off of that real quick, and being the last thing that we touched on with the Leon Lett play, before we get into a couple other things with you, you said on Four Falls of Buffalo, I mean, you were still getting letters. Are you still getting letters about that play, and how
in talking about being a father too? In talking about being a father too, I think that play was a prime example, and you made some fatherdom less wordy and more example driven.
These are just going out today. So
stop it.
And this now is truth. I get fan mail letter still at House of Speed, which we don't do anymore, but the office is my mom's house.
So let me get this straight. I'm texting Bud right now, and you're writing handwritten letters. What's what's going on here?
Well, it just shows you when you do things right and you react to right, people are attracted to that. All people ask, they don't ask that you really win the game, even though they want you to win the game. They just want you to try. So the things that you see with people, just the balls coming out of their hands that's become a big thing now. I mean, what are these guys doing, right? And or just never giving up, or just tapping yourself out. I can't play anymore. I'm too tired. I mean, it's like, what? So I think it's through these 2 books and still coaching. That's why I coach. I'll be honest with you guys. I'm not here to win football games. I'm a competitive guy. But man, if I was here to just win football games, really, I think that's pretty shallow.
Yeah.
I think you're here to impact people's lives, and what a great avenue to be able to do that through coaching.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And so how are you guys doing this year over at Aurora?
Yeah, so I think we're rated 14th or 15th in the country. We're
getting that Stag Bowl?
Well, we're going to try. I mean, it's
Yeah, is Wisconsin Whitewater still the one?
Wisconsin. It's it's a mixed bag. North Central's up there now, and they've been successful. Mount
Sure.
Union is always there.
Oh, because they can keep they have the bankroll to put 260 kids on their roster.
Yeah. I mean, we have a roll going. I mean, we've been pretty successful at Aurora this is our 6th year here. And today's another conference title game, really. If we win it, it'll be 41 conference games in a row.
Wow.
So we just, as Coach Levy would tell you, listen, get good players. That's how you win.
Well, I don't think he would.
Players.
I think he would probably draw from a book that was written pre-1940. But what if I can ask a 2-part question? What was your welcome to the NFL moment, and what was your welcome to a college football head coach moment?
Wow, it's great question. The first one's easy, and so this is a little bit of a story. But if you guys remember, back in 1989, I was drafted, and then we didn't do the Kagan offense, so it was on every third down, the third receiver would come in. Well, it was Andre Reed, Chris Burkett was number 2, and Flip Johnson was number 3, and I was 4. So I never got to play the first 2 games. So I didn't play the first 2 games. Jim Kelly goes to Marv on that Tuesday and says, "Man, we drafted Beebe. I want him in there, right?" So the next thing you know, they release Chris Burkett.
Well, they drafted him, and he didn't want to be there.
Yeah, so they released. So then I moved into the 3rd slot. So if you remember, it was a Houston on a Saturday afternoon, nationally televised game in the Astrodome, and this is going to be my first time ever on the field. So the first pass and I'll make this long story short.
Please
first
don't.
pass to ever go my way was against Chris Dishman. And when I was breaking the huddle, I was supposed to do a post corner, and Jim goes, "Hey, Beebs, if the DB's pressed on you, just take him deep. I'm throwing it to you." And I'm like, "Okay, here we go." Right? I'm scared to death. I'll be honest with you. I was like, "Oh my gosh, I hope this works out." Well, the first pass to go my way was a 63-yard bomb from Jim, a touchdown. And what a way to break into the NFL. So that was an easy one for me on that one, Jeff. College football, we didn't really know what we were going to be because it was all new in 2019. We came in the spring of 2019, had spring ball, and then the fall came, and we're going. The first opponent that we're facing is number 6 defense in the country the year before. So nobody had any idea. Place was packed. Everybody's excited. Next thing you know, after the first drive of the 3rd quarter, we posted 50 points, and we're up 50-19. And I think we brought in a new
K-Gun's back.
K-Gun was back because I mixed. It's funny you say
you dog. That was my next question because Frank did it. He mixed in. So there's very on record between Jim and Frank. I've been part of the conversation, albeit I was eavesdropping. But Frank borrowed a little K-Gun. How much are we going to call it? The B gun or how much you borrowing? What letter of that alphabet is most analogous to what made you guys so successful? Be honest.
I'm fine with keeping it the K gun. I don't need to call it anything that I do.
But how much did you borrow from that fast pace? We're gonna wear you down, and we're gonna make you stop us.
Well, I still have my playbook right here on my shelf.
Show it, please show it.
No,
stop. Oh no, listen, it's on iPads now. Okay.
It's.
Oh my God.
So
can't believe the let of an NFL
Bud
facility.
would recognize that.
Oh well, Bud is here, and that is a great
Bud would
segue.
recognize that.
Uncle Bud is actually here, and and to impart really quickly, you know what his email address is?
No.
trainerbud@gmail.com.
Trainer Bud. That's nice. I like it.
So we welcome the legendary 30-plus year trainer, Uncle Bud Carpenter.
Yeah,
Bud,
legend.
Bud, I mean, it's a little weird to see, being better at technology than I am. Don just told us that he's writing handwritten letters, and you're getting back to me in 2 seconds on text message. So I guess old dogs can learn new tricks.
I don't think it was quite that fast. After about 4 different tries for the phone, I had to go to the computer.
So what is, now that you got you guys two together, what was, because there's a lot of trust in being a trainer. There's a lot of trust that you put on the athlete side into, medical care, that, you are a sounding board to the higher ups. And because do you guys remember a formidable moment where you guys really formed that bond that, you guys are for a commonality for the better good. And, you guys are each other's guys because you guys both talk each other about each other in a fantastical way, in a way that, I barely even talk to my, brother in that same way. It's just about a bunch of yelling because it's always competitive when you're in that brood brotherhood. What you guys have any similar memories of what stuck out for you, Bud, and what stuck out for Don?
Well, from my standpoint, it wasn't really a medical. It was more personal. My first job is to get to know everybody and their family and their wives, the dogs, the kids. And with Beebs, that was easy. Right from the start, we've been friends for a long time, and it wasn't just over medical. While we've taken care of him over the years, it was more of a personal relationship than worrying about the medical part of it, because he was going to play. And sometimes it was us against him saying,
well, you also drafted Thurman Thomas for him. So,
well, hey, let me tell you that the draft part of it is probably the greatest Don Beebe story that I have. He's such a great person that I don't have much dirt or anything like that I can even go. So the greatest Beebe story is him being drafted. In those days, Jim Overdorf and I were in New York representing the Bills, actually going to submit the sheet right in to say, hey, this is who we're drafting. And that year, as you recall, we didn't have a first or second round. So it gets to be middle to the late second round. And Chris Berman comes down and just says, hey, look, we're not going to be on the air much longer. What do you guys think you're going to pick? I said, we have no idea. He said, well, in the meantime, could you run down, because you have nothing else to do, and get me some popcorn and an iced tea? And then it comes time, and we're getting close. And he said, we're going to be off the air in about 7 minutes. And I said, it's getting close. And they just went off the air when it's time to pick Beebs. And my favorite line of that is they called and they said, we're going to select Don Beebe. And I go, who? And then they said from Shadron State. And I go, where? It was brutal. What is a Don Beebe? We've waited all of this time and we're drafting a Don Beebe from God knows where. Shadron State? Are you kidding me?
Jesus.
True. So
I love honesty, but God,
but it's a true story. Jim Overdorf and I looked at each other, tried to figure out what in the heck is going on.
Yeah.
So yeah, that you know, to
Don,
tell
your
stories
retort.
about Beebs.
Yeah.
You know, Beebs was just one of the family, and that's what made our teams so special. And they talk about Super Bowls and you talk about wins and you lament some of the losses, but it was still everybody acted like a family. Everybody was there for each other in every way you can imagine.
Bud, did Don spat?
No, Don Beebe.
Yeah, he didn't do that
Let's
stuff.
slow it down.
You can't be that quick. If it's spat in your
Beebs
cleats.
was about speed. That's pure unadulterated speed. We can't be slowing him down with some spat crap.
Dude, this is the best hangout ever. Don, just go.
No, what he just said was just so true. And I got that from so many different people when I actually, because the next day I had to fly to Buffalo, and this even gets better. So I fly into Buffalo.
I can't imagine how.
And me and Diana, my wife, were walking down the tarmac, and at the end of it was all this media. And I grabbed her hand really tight, and I was like, oh, that can't be for us. There's just no way. Well, It wasn't. Okay. It was for Alexander Mogilny, who flew in the same time, and he was defecting. And there's national media. Everybody was there. Okay. ABC, NBC.
Foiled by an 89 again.
Yeah, 1989. So so that started down the path of, and then I got my little section over here of about 3 reporters, and there's about 50 over there for Alex. But Bud was right. It was like, I mean, I remember Scott Burstall coming up to me saying the same thing, because he had to head up all the media and everything at that time. And Scott came up and he goes, who in the world did we draft? Who in the world is this guy? Right. And it is. A Shadron is the end of the earth. It's in no man's land. Look up.
Was Fred Jackson? No, he was Coe College.
Oh gosh, no. Coe College is like a huge compared to
Hey,
Shadron.
The Midwest is just one potato patch for me. Okay.
Yes, it is.
But what also is big for me is Saturdays are laundry day around the domesticated household. So Bud, Don, I got a laundry basket right here. If Matt can pan to me.
Yeah.
That's a laundry basket of about 6 of your teammates' jerseys. Would you mind? Don picks one, Bud picks one, and you give me your best memory. How's that?
Sure. But let me just say one more thing on what Bud says about family and the way it was there, because it is unique and it's different. It really is. Just a couple weeks ago, Marv celebrated his 99th birthday, right? And And we had a game up in Wisconsin that was about 2 hours north of the city of Chicago where, Coach Levy lives. And they were going to throw a party for him at Harry's restaurant. Well, Thurman, Bruce, Jim, Tasker, John Kidd, Cornelius, Daryl, they all flew in. And I was like, there's no way I can miss this, right? So, as soon as the game was over, I'm the head coach now. As soon as the game is over,
no way.
I do my little thing. I get in my car, and I'm going 100 miles an hour down to 90 to get to this party. And I made it started at 6 o'clock, and I got there at 6:02. So I was pretty happy.
Well, if you're not 5 minutes early, according to Marv, you're
that's
late.
true. And they all said that, by the way. They all said that. So it was just really good. And when we got together, some of us haven't talked in quite a long time, and it was like yesterday. It literally was like yesterday. When you're around family and you have the things, when you get back together, it's like, boom. It's like we didn't miss 30 years. We didn't miss 20 years.
God, I love
that's what family's all about.
I love that story. So I'm going to get to the laundry since Bud has none on you, and I'm sure you have none on Bud. Besides that sick piece of lip furniture he was rocking for all those years. So Matt, you want to choose out of the laundry basket the first jersey? Once again, this is 6-year-old teammates. All original Champions jersey. Bud, was it Champion back in the day, or Logitech, or what brand of jerseys?
It was everything. It was Champion.
Whatever Woody could get his hands on.
Hey, we had all kinds.
All right, here we go. He's going to draw one, and if you guys can both say who's the first one you pulled out. Oh, Bryce Pop. Bud, what do you got for me?
Well, Bryce Pop obviously came in highly touted. For us, he was high maintenance at first. He had no idea what anything was about coming here, and then turns out what a great guy he is. But we used the word high maintenance the first year because he wanted this and that and was used to being pampered. Well, we were equal. We didn't care, from Bruce to Thurman to Jim to whoever. Everybody in the training room was the same. We didn't pamper them. We took care of them. So
very good.
For my guys, it would have been the word high maintenance. Great player, and then after the first year, settled right in with the rest of the family.
All right, Don, we're gonna draw another one for you. Here we go.
Okay.
Matt, out of the laundry. Here we go. He's got one right. Which one did you pick? Don, your fondest memory of who? Steve Tasker. Oh, here we go.
We don't have that kind of time.
No, we don't. Man,
Okay. Like you preach family, like Family Feud. You got 30 seconds on the clock.
Well, I only got 30 seconds. There's no way.
No, you got any time.
You got an entire playbook, dude.
Yeah. So what? First of all, we get misconstrued a lot. So he's Don a lot. So people go out and say, "Hey, man, thanks for running down."
I can see that.
And he looks at him. He said, "And what me and Steve have been able to do now over the years is we'll just go along with it. We'll act like we are them."
That is, Steve. I went to high school with Deacon, which is crazy because all Steve's kids are named after Steely Dan songs.
Yeah.
Like Deacon, it's Deacon Blue Tasker for Deacon Blues. You know, Luke, who played briefly on the Chargers and he was in the CFL. That's Luke Steele Tasker. He has a Margaret, which is Peg. I don't know if you guys knew that, but I went to school with Deacon. Steve drove me to school to football practice my freshman and sophomore year, and he still had that red, fully outfitted Jeep to the gills. And I still remember when he would drive, it was still unnerving, much like the story. And the way his neck would snap, and he would just continue a conversation. I'm like, dear God, are you okay? But that goes to you. Like that's probably not healthy. But you probably have the little nuance of Tasker. It probably you can recant on for days.
Well, I got two things to say about Steve. One good, and one bad. One he won't want anybody to know, but I'll share it anyway because I'm the only one that knows it. Is
you're the same person.
Well, the good thing is that first of all, Steve is exactly what Bud and I have been talking about. I mean, he's our brother, and when I first get there, we hit it off very quickly. We have a lot in common. Come from small towns, both short white guys, both run. Steve, most people don't really know that he's extremely athletic. At 5'9", and that's probably giving him an inch. He could reverse dunk a basketball. When we would go on the road, and Bud can attest to this, he would go on a lot of these. We'd go on the road in all these small towns in Western New York and play basketball against the typically.
Well, he's a Kansas guy.
High school, yeah. And Steve would come up, and the crowd would just come to their feet when he would do warm-ups, and he'd do a reverse dunk at about 5'9". It was unbelievable. And hitting a golf ball, you haven't seen anything like it. I mean, he could just crush it. Still does. But very competitive. But the one thing that
yes. Here we go.
Is the competitiveness in him can go overboard sometimes. He struggles controlling it sometimes, to the point. I don't think it was Deacon, the football game at St. Francis that we were, and I went with him, and we're standing on the sideline. And I'll be honest, I've never wanted to get away from a guy so fast in my entire life. I mean, he was just ripping the referee.
That's what we were winning too.
And I looked at him and I said, "Steve, really?
Take a
really?" I mean, and then he gets into the car. We get into the car, we're driving away, and he's just for 30 straight minutes apologizing. "Oh, I'm so sorry. I should have never acted that way." I mean, he should have got thrown out of the game. Wouldn't that have been something? You know, Steve Tasker getting thrown out of the game. And you can ask Bud. He is out of control at his kids' games.
Bud, can you corroborate that story?
I don't even have to corroborate that story. I mean, you just don't have time for all the Sevy stories. We always call them Sevy, one because of the long ball and his famous hole-in-one and all of that. But you got to remember who got thrown out of his last game.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, he's ejected from his last game.
Hey.
He finishes his football career with a security guard in the stairwell eating brats. So
I'm glad you brought that up, Bud, because Bud brought that up because you know who was on the other sideline, right, Bud?
Dear God, this is going to get worse. It's going to get worse.
It was in Green,
Beebs is over there.
And I called him.
I mean, there's
At
just, I mean, so much to tell about Sevy. I mean, it's incredible what, I mean, you can go on and on about Tasker. We can start the roast right now and just bring in all the people you want.
Oh, yeah.
Eric Wood's got to be here then too.
There's the numbers with Sevy to tell stories is just legendary. Could be one of my famous is that I sent him a picture about 3 or 4 months ago, and he's hated me for this story forever. So it's the Oakland game. It's where we're just killing them, and then they get that so-called, it's not really an onside kick, but it's a lousy kick, hits him in the chest, and he's running down the sideline, going to score the touchdown. And he gets tackled, and he comes to the sideline as distraught. I can't believe I didn't get there. And so just to keep his ego somewhat in check, I said, gosh, 66 just had a great angle at you, and he got you. And then that really made him mad. So it was some big offensive lineman, and I just made it up. And then after the game, somebody tells him it's Willie Gault that actually tackled him. And so here's the fastest human being on earth, and he's the one that actually tackled him. So he was so mad that I told the story, and he was believing that. And I have a picture of
You're an agent of chaos, Bud.
I sent him a picture of Gault making the tackle, and he had some few choice words for me for that as well.
Well, speaking of big offensive linemen, this is the last one because Don, I know you got to go. Yeah. And God rest his soul, because I know he met a lot of you. Matt, if you could pan to me, what do you guys think about when you see this guy?
There's your truest word of family.
That's why I saved it for last.
What he meant to the football team. Everybody had something to do with winning. Obviously, what he brought to the offensive line, and just the class.
Sure.
It was
set the standard.
That's he did. But you look at him and the Wills and what they did and what they meant to the team. Probably, and great basketball player and all of that, because we always had so much fun with him. Beebs, I guess I'll remember most. One single thing is we're on the goal line and Jim's kind of dazed, he said, and he makes some call, and Kent turns around still with the ball in his hand and just screams at him, no. And we ran a different play.
Yeah.
You guys are so much about literature. You guys need to at least write a Sunday funny comic strip. You too.
Well, let me just say this about Kent, and I do have to go.
Sure.
Is-
And thank you again for your time, Don.
Yeah, Daryl Talley was the rock and leader of our defense, believe it or not.
Yeah.
And anybody that would tell you on the other side of the ball, it was Ken Hall. Ken Hall was the rock. He was the leader on that offensive side of the ball, and there's no doubt he should be in the Hall of Fame. Ken Hall is one of the greatest centers to ever play the game. I'm hoping that he gets in it. He certainly deserves it. And but Jim probably would have been a different dude without Ken Hall. Let's just put it that way.
Bud's laughing.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Don, we want to thank you for hopping on with us, Bud. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for hopping on with us. We know you got to get going and
Yep.
good luck on the game later today.
I appreciate it.
And we'll definitely have to do this when you have some more time again. Because
God, I wish we were. I just wish we were all hanging out because
I'd love to.
I feel like I'm another 4 minutes away from just roasting me just for my outfit. So Don, thank you so much. Uncle Bud, thank you so much. You guys are listening to the Third Manageable Podcast. Bud, we always say it. Hey, good to be seen, man.
Hey, always good to be seen. Hey, Beebs, give my love to Diana.
I will, and same for Kathy and Bud. Love you, man. I miss you. And it's people like you that made it special in Buffalo.
We all did. We all did. Family.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.
Kick your heels up and shout, throw your hands up and shout, throw your head back and shout. Come on now, the Bills are making.
All right, and welcome back to the live portion of Third Manageable.
Yo, we gotta talk about that. What a time for the live Twitter algo to just go tits up.
Yeah, that's whatever. I mean, we just push it out as much as we possibly can at this point on Twitter, and everybody can catch it secondhand.
That's true, and there are only that many people who don't want that type of wisdom. Where do you keep going?
Yeah, absolutely.
What'd you think about that? What was your favorite part?
I did not have a favorite part.
I did not think they were gonna dunk on 89 that much.
Yeah, that was
Sounds like he needs a rebuttal.
Yeah, maybe next week. But
No,
I truly didn't have any, favorite moment or favorite part of that. The whole thing was great. Talking to Don Beebe, learning about like the
Yo, he coached a game right after that.
Yeah.
Did they win?
I didn't even look.
Oh, that is bad, dude. I did, and let me tell you, I just want to check how many points they won by. Well, they didn't win. No, I'm just kidding. But like, it's so great, like the lineage, right? Mm-hmm. You start with a Bud, right? And Bud you get the best bits out of Bud. He was a 30-year trainer, right? Awesome.
Yeah.
And he is he's the best. I mean, like Bud, what did he start, man? He started the Blue Tent, right? He's got all the stories of Fred Jackson. He was like one of the most, our first like real formidable, hey, this is like really cool. And then from there, we work it and we get Frank. And then from there, we work it, right? And Beebs is like, we got to come on. And then we work it and you'll see next week. But it's just so cool how they just revere that brotherhood, man. That was cool.
Yeah.
Because I always say, you know what I miss most about playing, Matt?
Is the camaraderie.
Eating with the guys. Being on the same schedule. Knowing that all your homies, they got one night to go out and hopefully celebrate a win. Everybody's on that, that same schedule. And, to go through camp and the joy of the 30-minute nap. And then not only was that brooding camaraderie so great, you heard how he exited the interview, man. It's the same way we exit conversations. Hey, love you, man. Give my best to give my best. You truly believe that.
Hey, we did get a good to be seen out of Don Beebe though. That was pretty cool,
dude. Yo, Matt, good to be seen, buddy. Yo, by the way, Pat, talking to you real quick. Happy you're back. Yeah, that's it. Happy he's back. That's great. Oh, don't do this. I don't give a fuck. It's awesome. Everybody can succeed. Everybody can do great. And that is a perfect pivot because, they're competitive in basketball. He got so hyped when he talked about a BB reverse dunk.
Yeah.
Everybody,
really cool.
everybody can eat in this space, and that's why it's so fun to celebrate that we can still hear these stories while they're around. I don't want those stories to die. I know you don't either.
No, not at all. I mean, and that,
Because
just like the one about him driving 110 miles an hour down from Wisconsin down to Chicago to meet them for Marv Levy's birthday.
Yeah, it's special celebrating people. And I know you thought I was being snarky with the shout out before of a former coworker, but seriously, it's nice celebrating earnestly that there's enough room in life to be so happy. And I loved that it just so happened the last jersey we pulled out, Ken Hull. I mean, those are beautiful nuggets. Ken Hull, obviously, rest in peace. He's not around anymore. But to hear that they revered the living as well as the dead, and Beebs is put Ken Hull in the Hall of Fame, and Bud's put, what do they call him, Sevy, Steve?
Yeah.
But you know the game they're talking about, I was playing in, that Steve almost got kicked out of?
No.
Yeah, I was playing. I think we were playing Naaman Roosevelt at St. Joe's.
Really?
Yeah, that's another Buffalo Bill we'll have on hopefully soon. But yeah, and I can tell the story. Cool. He used to drive me to football practice, and how violently he used to snap his neck, and everything he did is intense. And I just thought it was so cool. Just I hope, Matt. I hope that those same stories, those same moments, those same bonding, brilliance and activities are being cemented right now.
So I want to give you a little update here.
Did you just
quick.
ignore everything I just fucking said?
Not
I
at
hate
all.
you. I hate you.
Not at
I hate
why would I ignore it?
Well, I mean, I would. Clearly, everybody else did.
I mean, they didn't really have a choice, but no, real quickly. I mean, we were talking with Don Beebe, and now he's coaching. He's 8-1, 7-0 in their conference.
In Wisconsin.
Aurora Spartans.
Yeah, out of Wisco, right?
Yeah. 56-20 was the score last Saturday. They won.
56-20.
Yeah.
So I was thinking, he's 10:40. I gotta go. 10:40 a.m. I gotta go. I bet you he's doing pregame walkout at 11. I feel like that could have went forever.
Game was 2:00.
Yeah. So you figure he's at training room at 11.
Yeah. And for him to
2 o'clock. Central time.
Yeah. Him to make that. No, it's
Wisconsin Central Time, homie.
I know, but it's 2 p.m. So 1 p.m. Central Time.
Right. So that's what comes.
Yeah. But for him to make time for us like that, when he's got that big of a game, which it just speaks volumes to what type of person he actually is.
I mean, it's kind of cool. In this that they have time for. Not necessarily me and you, but the fans. Mm-hmm. We go back to Teddy a lot. Teddy's. Remember when we were rolling up on the golf cart?
Yeah.
You could tell that story because I feel like I've always tell everybody how great I am because I fucking am.
No, that was a fun story. That was a fun time. We were at the DePaulo Scholarship Golf Tournament, and he.
I gotta tell you, let's grab a cart. Let's grab a cart.
Yeah, a student nudges me. He goes, "Watch this." Didn't say anything. Just kind of was just driving and. Ted Cottrell. Yo, Brady!
I was just oh, that's the best. But then he sat down and he speaks the same way. All those guys do. Was that the magic sauce?
Yeah.
Is it? Can you replicate that?
I mean, look what the Bills are doing this year. 7-2 could be 8-2 on Sunday against the Colts. You get those locker room things out of there, those distractions out of the locker room.
Hear you.
And all of a sudden, a team that everybody, ESPN, NFL Network, Bills fans, other fan bases, Bills, some of the Bills media. Oh, the Bills are going to have a down year this year. Maybe they'll make a wild card run. We sat here and said, this team's going to take second or third, maybe fourth. They're going to win the division. This is going to be, yes, it's a rebuild or retool, but they're still going to be good because as long as
no one ever said reload.
As long as you have Josh Allen, we said it. We said it. Not to pat ourselves on the back or anything like that, because that's not what this is about. But to sit there and because of the,
I like what you're saying.
Because of the camaraderie and everything else that they have going on in the locker room, taking away those additions by subtraction. That truly is what's made this team 7-2, has a chance to be 8-2 going against the Chiefs the following week.
I got something wrong, and I just want to tell you, and maybe it's not wrong. I want to know if I'm wrong, actually. I said in the very infancy of this Third and Manageable podcast, Matt, I don't think the Buffalo Bills handle the spotlight well. Not from a playing sake, just from like that pressing, like Skip Bayless, Cowboys, LeBron, cash it. We really struggled with Nick Wright. Just noise,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like at some point that does bleed and stuff like that. I was like, we're a small market team. Like we all wanted this, but like we're not handling it well. I haven't even thought about that till right now.
No, not
different, right?
Yeah, not whatsoever, because it doesn't matter. It truly doesn't matter. And I know Halloween just passed, but the character I was going to bring out, Dick Wrong, is going to be it might make an appearance if the Bills beat the Chiefs.
Shout out, by the way, Poncho's Army.
Yeah,
let's do this. Poncho's Army, they're the homies. All those guys, Be Cool Fool, won't use your government name. They're having a massive toy drive on the 15th, 16th, and 17th. Leading up to Bills at the Bills Mafia House. Come, sealed toys, gently Yule's toys. They'll do everything. They're getting in there, and they really do it right. Matt, what did we see at the last one we went to? And we were just like enthralled. Like we do a lot of philanthropy, like our bocce tournament, like all that other stuff. But like, weren't you just like, holy cow?
I mean, that was a completely different level than what I've seen in. I mean, there was
energy to
thousands
vibes
of people that went in and out of there, and they had food, they had the dunk tank, they had the slide, the water slides.
Buffalo Freddy donated all that stuff. All the food that was donated.
Over 500 backpacks, and it's just.
And who do you give grace to?
Everybody else.
Remain faithful and humble. Those are just some of the rules I go by.
Yeah.
Shout. What t-shirt are you wearing?
Griselda.
Be really weird if you saw Conway. Oh, anyway, going back. No, shout out back to Anthony. We're going to be there the 15th, 16th, 17th at the Mafia House because, you can wind me up all day just like the toys are about to donate because we're going to have a good time. And in the name of philanthropy and Poncho's Army. So look out for that. We'll be putting it out. Hopefully we get Anthony before then. So we're not talking a ton about the Chiefs. I like it.
Not until next week when it is Chiefs week.
Who do we play this week?
We play the Colts on Sunday at 1:00.
Yeah. What are you thinking?
So, I mean, the tough thing is Keon Coleman's already been ruled out. Amari Cooper was catching some passes today, but he looked very...
You got a banger on Twitter, right?
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. Like, nobody knows what happened to Keon Coleman. Whether it's his wrist or his hand or whatever happened to him. But I do remember having a similar injury when I played.
Sure. I mean,
I got my hand wrist caught between two face masks that, just basically bashed it together, and it seemed like the same type of injury because you don't know. I mean, who knows? Who knows what actually happened to him or anything like that? But as far as that goes, Keon Coleman's out. He's been ruled out. Amari Cooper with the cast on, the hard cast on his hand. He was catching passes from Josh Allen. Who knows if he's going to be able to go? Whether it's going to be worth it against a team like the Colts. No offense to the Colts or anything like that, but they're just
who's starting.
As far as what
quarterback?
Somebody who you played against.
Yeah, I gotta get a new story. But that's Permo, huh? Even Beeves, like before we went on air, he was just like, oh man, That's a weirdo little moment. That and I want to talk about something. Tyler Bass! Are we back? You never left. You were out. You were like
I wasn't out. I was cautiously pessimistic, right? I wasn't cautiously optimistic, but I felt there was things behind the scenes, whether it was Martin Holding, whether it was the way that he was kicking the ball, not having a kicking coach, all that.
That still makes no sense.
All that stuff kind of combined together, but for him to come in, and even on his point after that he missed, it wasn't a bad kick. It literally looks like he just pulled it a little bit to the left.
Which is hard to do because he kicks from the left hash.
I know. I mean,
that's. I mean, I don't know if you call it physics or anything.
And not even necessarily to the. He put it right basically where the left hash is, so it's almost like he was trying to put it in the middle, and he pulled it back to the middle of where he was going.
Does a good job of getting that ball the heck out of the fucking end zone and kickoffs. Yeah. That's like that. That is like you think that's going to be our modus operandi, Matt? Like we're just booting the tootin' right out of right into the what was the Buffalo Drumline? God, I know you. Yeah. Oh God, what are they called? The Buffalo Stampede. I'll save you on that. But no, like I think we're gonna boot it on the end zone. But like, talk about that's a career kick.
Yeah, that's a career maker for him. I mean, 61-yard field goal. It's a team record, and it's gonna give them confidence because that honestly could have been good from probably 70, like no lie, the way that he kicked it. I wouldn't be surprised if it is something similar to Scott Norwood, with the not the wide right, but same kick where Frank Reich said he heard him, let out the audible, ugh. I wouldn't be surprised if there was something like that from Tyler Bass going on when he kicked that through, and it's I'm glad that he made that, like, absolutely. And to see the guys,
it's almost like rooting for humanity.
To see the guys cry on the sideline for him and everything like that. That's
why we watch sports.
That was awesome because it's almost like everybody, we see it, run and do champions and everything like that, and on our own personal Twitter, and many people.
And he went back and gave the ball to Reed, and that's just the team. Mm-hmm. I love that shit. That's like why we watch sports, man. I mean, you get a little like you're hyped up and stuff like that, and you just. I don't know, man. I like invoking that emotion and like.
Yeah, the emotion is the most important part of sports, and I think that's why that so many people kind of are drawn to sport because of the emotion, because of the everything that comes with it. Because whether it's for us as Bills fans, everything that we've gone through, all the losses, the drought, the bad kicks, the interceptions, we've also had a lot of good times too with it as well. Jim Kelly against the Dolphins, or Josh Allen against the Dolphins, or Josh Allen beating the Chiefs in the regular season. Unfortunately, things happened in playoffs, but even during the drought years, there was a lot of things that happened that in certain spots where it's like, okay, this is going to keep bringing me back to this and why we sat around for 17 years, right? And as Bills fans, rather than being like, oh, sure, this team sucks. Let me find a different team to support.
And you know what that brings us to? Speaking of sports, Sons of Erie presents The Peak in the Pit. Maddie, quickly, the peak of performance you saw in that game versus the Dolphins.
I mean, we already touched on it. It's Tyler Bass. I mean, for him to go out there and kick the field goals.
It's worth saying twice.
Yeah, I mean,
cosign the pit.
Not being able to stop their running attack, their motion, their almost seeming confused in those types of situations where When I was watching it, they would send a guy out this way and then throw it back this way. And then they'd send the guy out this way and fake it to the guy going to the right and then put it out to the left. So it's like, it almost was like confusing to the defense where they couldn't figure out what was going on. And you're like, when you see the guy go out this way, you're trying to, I don't know. I think that was the Pitt was almost getting too confused on defense.
Pitt for me is you got another guy injured in that wide receiving core. That's tough, Matty.
Yeah.
That's tough because they play off each other. That synergy of breaking off routes and the trees and knowing where they're going to be so
and
you
also,
can fit windows. You got two of them down. Now, Shakir, he's a rabble router.
Yeah.
he gets a high ankle, which he's susceptible to. I mean, now what do we do? That's do you think that's more concerning than our linebacking issue last year with Klein?
I do.
You're gonna start. I mean, you're gonna start getting weird on offense because you lose your identity.
I mean, you got like even this week you got Mac Hollins starting. You got the kid they just signed off their practice squad, Virgil. You have Shavers. They're probably gonna pull up. I mean, it's gonna be because you're most likely gonna be without Keon Coleman and Amari Cooper this week. So. Your tight ends.
You start playing with your identity a little bit.
Your tight ends got to start stepping up, and Dalton Kincaid has to be a bigger part of the offense this week. Dawson Knox
so
has to be.
all those critics, they're like everybody eats. This is kind of why you.
Yeah,
this is why it's honestly ding dong brains to criticize everyone eats. Well, now there's some people that like you might actually have to spoon feed the tapioca to because like they're not going to be in. They don't have usable limbs, and you're not going to sacrifice everything you have going. I mean, I think of Amare, sponsored by Elliott Apollos, 3875 South Park Avenue. No, but seriously, that's valuable time when you get into those pictures of the route trees and knowing where those windows are open and how you can play off each other. So not only are they not playing together, but now you're going to be asking more of your running backs, which I think they can handle a little bit more. I think you're going to see a bigger dichotomy between Knox's game and the other DK.
But the other thing that you're gonna see. Hold on, because I want to throw this at you too.
I will fight you.
I know you will.
No, I wouldn't. I don't do that. I don't do that.
I want to throw this part at you too because you got a lot of guys that know where to sit down in zones. Shakir, Dalton Kincaid, Dawson Knox.
But to know when to sit down in a zone knows how they break it off. Are you if you're seeing drop three, am I gonna round? Like am I gonna round just because they know the backward synergy? Am I gonna round just so he gets a flash, I get a flash, and we know that ball's coming to it, right? But here's my point, and I want to go back to that. I think in no Keon and no Amari Cooper, you are going to see a massive dichotomy between Knox and Kincaid. I think you're going to see tight end in your program, but I think they're going to be using them totally different.
Yeah, I could definitely.
Could you bag that?
Yeah, I definitely could see them using Dalton Kincaid more as that bigger slot receiver.
You go out to trips, he can run the crown.
Exactly.
Right.
You drop him back, or absolutely.
Speaking of tight ends, shout out to the homie. Give me one. Q.
Yeah, that was.
Dude, talk about a better guy.
The way that Josh.
His life is so obscured. Be from Houston, Texas, go to Bowling Green, and somehow that catch was weirder than that, like, synergy.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, good
Josh,
on you.
like.
Yo, Q, you're the man.
Josh just, like, rolled it off his fingers like a shot put or a basketball shot, or a jumper. Like, he just
I think that's
rolled
his
it off
second.
his hand.
Is that his second or third touchdown?
Who's Q's?
Yeah.
For this year?
No, in life.
Oh, for the Bills, you're talking.
I think it's second or third.
I think it's his third.
Not bad for a boy from the MAC conference. Shout out Tommy Doyle. But, all right, moving on to the Colts. What is the highest peak we need to achieve to guarantee you victory? What is the pit in your stomach, Maddie? You go first.
So with that, I'll take the pit first. I think it's going to be the wide receiver room. I think it's for actually, you know what? For me, I'm going to go Peak and Pitt is going to be the receiver room because I can see both scenarios where we talked about it a little bit ago. Everybody eats. So if everybody's catching the ball, everybody's able to get open. Shakir's able to sit down correctly in the zones like he's known to be able to do and take advantage of that. He could be having a Jamar Chase type game. Like, you know, I wouldn't say almost 300 yards, but he could be, you know, around the 100, 150 yards for him, you know, sitting down in those zones. Dalton Kincaid, things like that. I could see scenarios where those happen. But also at the same time, I could see a situation like the Houston game.
Sure.
Where
Where
Josh is just throwing the ball up to Mac Hollins for no reason because he's getting pressured. Yeah, I'll take one.
Take one?
Yeah.
Here's my pick. You ready for the pick?
Yeah, go ahead.
Preying on the young. Joe Flacco. No, I'm serious, dog. First year starter, safety, Hamlin. Get Bishop in there, first year NFL player. Got Kyer. Love him, homie. Hasn't played a ton of starting reps. Man, Bernard's getting hurt a lot. He's actually not like bona fide like reps. He's not like a bona fide like 3-year starter. Joe Flacco has seen a lot, and I think he knows enough game where there might be some competitive edge that's going to be brought out to wear and bait a young defense.
You brought that up. You brought it up. I mean, let's be serious with Joe Flacco. He's seen, you know, just in his own practice, hundreds of times over his time in Baltimore, seeing not only one of the best defenses, but one of the best linebackers to ever play the game, one of the best safeties ever play the game. So he's seen
good point, lad.
all of this stuff.
I'll give you that one. Good point. No, but like there's a reason why I wouldn't even call him a journeyman. I'd call him a stalwart. I mean, he's seen a lot. He's entrusted with a lot. That's why kind of was a little bonkers, you know, giving a guy who gets the people going. But my pit in my stomach is he is a savvy, experienced, see-all NFL quarterback, and we just don't have that level of experience really at anything but rush end, like our interior D-line. Welcome back, Jordan Phillips. But, I mean, that's, like, young. I mean, Rasul Douglas.
And Quentin Jefferson, by the way.
Yeah. Big Q show today. So, to play off a Q, question.
Yeah.
What's the highest peak we need to achieve to win, Matt?
Like I was saying, like as far as you know, I truly do think it's that receiver room. Everybody truly has to. They have to kind of embrace that mantra a little bit this week because they're going to have a couple of practice squad guys. They're going to have Dalton Kincaid and Khalil Shakir being your basically your number 1 and number 2 receiver. Not saying that they're number 1 or number 2 receiver, but those are your guys that you know Josh has the most faith in, along with Dawson Knox, that he's had the most connection with. So those are the guys that have to kind of step up, and if they truly don't, that's why I was saying before, it can go either way. But for it to be the peak, the wide receiver room has to step up, and everybody does truly have to eat this week.
Peak performance I need to hit it hard and aggressive in both the run play calling and the passing play calling. I want to hit hard. I want to see Alec Anderson on the field. If it's a committed first down and we ain't fooling anybody, I want to see you hit it hard. Come and stop us. Right?
Alec needs to continue bringing the nasty every week.
Dude. Good on you, lad.
Yeah.
I love that dude, and I love that he's just happy as a pig in Timberlands. Like, he did wear that to wear once. But, dude, I love it. And good things tend to happen when AA is on the field. Yo, he's getting his Cali Boogie on a lot in that end zone, and that means he's playing meaningful reps, and that means we have depth at a lot of positions because he can play center. What can he else play?
Guard.
What else can he play?
Tackle.
And he can also play my heart like a fine little fiddle. But I love it. Good things happen when he's on. But if we're going to run commit, run, get AA on the field. Hey, if we're going to go to a pass formation, you have to be multifaceted and ask DK and DK to get a little weird, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, Josh is going to get you the ball. It's just, how are you going to weave and shake and command that ball? Like if you give Josh a half second and you're within the first or second read, that ball's coming out hot.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go out hot. I don't want like I'm fucking. They owe me something. I want slashing up the hash, cover 2, throw it right in front of that safety. I want to pursue the run game to make them play a little cover 1, and I want them not to play cover 0 because they're so afraid of DK and DK playing so differently. They switch, right? Say we go 2 tight end over, right? Cover 0. So you got your linebacker man to man on your tight end. He flops, right? So now you have a balanced set. Now you have like 2 totally different. You're going to catch people out of position, especially if you're asking them to do totally different things that are interchangeable.
Well, and so one of the
Does that make sense?
It does.
Should I break it down?
No. It does make sense. And one of the things that I think that's going to kind of play off of that as well this week is going to be James Cook, Ray Davis, Ty Johnson, in the run game, and being able to line up in some of those formations and create mismatches from the backfield.
3rd and 3, opposing 54-yard line. We're going to run the ball. Alex on the field. Who do you want at running back? Yeah. I don't know.
I mean, it depends. It depends on where you're sitting. You have to go one further in the game situation. If it's
let's work it out.
Yeah, I mean, if you're talking first quarter,
we're in Lucas Oil.
If you're talking first quarter, I think it's James Cook. I think if you're in fourth quarter in a spot where it means the game, I think you're talking James Cook.
This is a good conversation to have.
But any other
means
time,
you got options.
Yeah, I mean, any other time, I truly think that it's, I think Ray Davis has done enough to prove his worth. I think I saw as a rookie, I think he's got 262 yards, 282, something like that. As far as what he's done this year, and that's being RB2.
You know what I want?
Huh?
You know what I want?
What?
Ty Johnson's in the game. Is there predictability what the Bills are doing?
No, none whatsoever.
Great, run duo right behind fucking Spencer Brown. Because are they running? Is it play action? Is it
Well, and that's
return to the RPO.
That's the nice thing about having what they're doing too, because when Alec goes in there, it's like
good things happen.
They're gonna run. Oh wait, Josh is stepping back to pass.
How sick would it be if he fucking scores on the same play Tommy Doyle did? I'll do it right now. If he scores on the same play Tommy Doyle and Alec, I'm going to clip this for you. I'll get 70 tattooed on me.
Okay.
And if he ever asks me about it, I'm like, oh, no, dude, I just love Eric Wood. So, Maddie, let's wrap this one up. If you didn't see it, thank you to our sponsors. I'll do one, you do one. Beauty Pools.
Kayak pools. All right, so it's beauty pools, kayak pools, Iliad Apollo's restaurant, W.GG, Hamburg Brewing, Sons of Erie, Iliad Apollo's. I don't know. Remember if I said
water,
that
Red Bull.
Yes, not really, but Fubo TV. Definitely want to thank all of our sponsors and Student.
No, who are you talking to?
Oh yeah, we got to hit who we're talking to. I am talking to.
Let's talk to Alec.
You can talk to Alec.
Okay.
I'm going to talk to the entire receiver room. You guys need to step up, and I think it's kind of fitting that we played the Don Beebe interview tonight with them needing to kind of do that. So, as far as you guys go, you guys are concerned. I really want to see you guys. I really want to see everybody eating. I really want to see you guys, being able to do whatever you can to help out Josh in any way possible, and just get open. Just get open and catch the ball. That's really all that matters this week. get the win this week and move on to next week. That's all that matters.
Get in, get out. Yo, that is such an expensive thing to drop. Get in, get out. Alec, do it right, big homie. Play us out, Matty. Hey, Matt!
It's good to be seen.
Good to be seen, man.
The Bills are making it happen.